You know the number, 1,200 calories. It's absolutely everywhere in the dieting space. For years, I thought it was the right number, that if I wasn't losing, it must be because I was eating too much, even when I was exhausted, hungry, and obsessing over food. That 1,200 number is treated like gospel. But here's the truth, it's not just outdated, it can actually be harmful. And today I want to show you why eating that little can actually backfire in a weight loss journey. I'll show you what the science actually says about calories, metabolism, and why undereating could be the very thing stalling your progress. Let's get into it. So where did this 1,200 calorie number even come from? It shows up in old Weight Watchers plans, fitness magazines, even calorie tracking apps. That 1,200 calorie rule dates back to early calorie restricted diets from the 1950s and 60s, but it really gained traction in the 80s during the thin is in craze. A lot of it actually traces back to general nutrition guidelines. 1,200 calories is actually the recommended intake for a sedentary toddler. That's right, we've been dieting like preschoolers, y'all. According to the National Institute for Health, even the minimum amount needed for basic body functions, which is also known as the basal metabolic rate, is usually higher than 1,200 calories for most adult women. In fact, research shows that prolonged calorie restriction, especially under 1,500 calories, can wreak all sorts of havoc on your body. One 2010 study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that metabolic adaptation occurs quickly under sustained low-calorie conditions, including suppressed T3 hormone levels, reduced energy expenditure or a slower metabolism, and increased hunger signaling. In other words, you feel hungry more. Another study published in Obesity Reviews in 2020 found that overly aggressive calorie restriction often backfires by increasing cortisol, promoting muscle loss, and it often leads to a cycle of weight loss and regain, what we know as yo-yo dieting, which is linked to worse health outcomes than being obese in the first place. And that's not even touching on the mental health side of things. Chronic dieting is associated with increased risk of disordered eating patterns, especially binge restrict cycles. I believed the lie too. For decades, I was on and off the dieting wagon, eating 1,200 calories, sometimes less. Heck, I went through HCG and was eating less than 500 calories a day for a while. I was tired, moody, obsessively thinking about food, and the weight loss I experienced was temporary at best. I'd binge, I'd start over Monday. I mean, the cycle was endless. I thought I just lacked willpower, but it wasn't about willpower. It was my body rebelling against a lack of nourishment. Then I started GLP-1 medications back in October of 2021. I'd had enough of the crazy dieting. I didn't want to be restrictive or cut out whole macronutrients like carbs. I just wanted to eat a balanced diet that would fuel my body and allow me to lose weight. And boy, did I ever. 65 pounds in my first 24 weeks, and then I hit a wall. I didn't know much at that point about how to set a healthy deficit, and so I let MyFitnessPal do it for me. At 365 pounds, I was eating 1,910 calories, many times less. And while I never went all the way down to 1,200 calories, by the time I lost 65 pounds, MyFitnessPal had me all the way down to 1,574 calories. And that's when my progress basically stopped. I couldn't understand why my weight loss had just ground to a screeching halt. I was still doing all the same things. I was eating the same type of foods. And when my coupon ran out on the Wegovy, that's when the hunger started. I was tired all the time. My hair was falling out by the handfuls. And without the high of the weight loss to spur me on, my mental health was tanking too. That's about the time that I found out about TDEE, or total daily energy expenditure, and through research, I learned what it would take to actually fuel a body my size. I learned about the importance of protein and the role that lack of protein can play in muscle and hair loss. Now, over 100 pounds lighter, I'm eating the same amount of calories that I was at 365 pounds, continuing to lose weight even without the GLP meds, and I'm building muscle. I have way more energy, and overall, I just feel better. Here's what a lot of people don't realize. Your body is smart. It adapts. So when you undereat for too long, your metabolism slows down to protect you. It doesn't want you to starve to death. So the big question is, what should you be eating? And the hard answer is that it's not the same for everyone, which is exactly why 1,200 calories is such a trap. Your specific calorie needs are based on your TDEE, or total daily energy expenditure. It's just a big fancy way of saying the number of calories that your body burns on a daily basis. And that number is kind of difficult to calculate, but you can use a free TDEE calculator online, and I'll link the one that I like down in the description below. You plug in your info, it gives you an estimated number of calories that your body uses daily. And from there, you can subtract 10 to 20% if you're aiming for fat loss. For example, if your TDEE were 2,200, a gentle deficit would be 1,800 to 1,900 calories, not 1,200. And just as a gentle reminder that all macronutrients play an important role in your body's function, remember that protein supports muscle, metabolism, and helps to keep you full. Fats help with hormone regulation, energy levels, and nutrient absorption. And carbs fuel your workouts, your digestion, your mood, and of course, your brain function. Balance is everything, and starving your body is not the shortcut that we've been sold. In the past, all I focused on was the number on the scale. These days, my goals look more like building more lean muscle mass, or having more energy, or fewer cravings. And that all starts with protein. Ideally about 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound of ideal body weight, or what I do is just calculate 25 to 30% of my daily calories. A study done by the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition in 2003 found that just increasing protein intake during a calorie-restricted diet helped preserve muscle mass and improved body composition, even during weight loss. Plus, protein keeps you full longer, helps reduce cravings, boosts metabolism, and supports better blood sugar control. These days, I eat about 1,900 calories a day with 120 to 140 grams of protein. And honestly, I feel better now in my 40s than I did in my 20s. If you've been following me for a while, you know I pretty much eat anything I want in moderation. And I've found ways to make all of my favorite comfort foods higher in protein and lower in calories. Heck, this week, one of my recipes is a giant portion of cheesy lasagna for less than 450 calories and almost 45 grams of protein. If you're still clinging to the 1,200 calorie rule, I get it. But please know that eating more might be the very thing your body needs to heal and finally let go of the weight. If trying to calculate all this on your own feels overwhelming, you're not alone. Even with all the research that I've done, I still felt overwhelmed trying to figure out the right calorie range and macros for my body. That's why I started working with a registered dietitian through Nourish, and it's one of the best decisions that I've made for my weight loss journey since GLP medications. I became a Nourish partner because I genuinely believe in the power of having a trained professional to help guide you. Nourish matches you with a licensed dietitian who gets to know you, your medical history, your lifestyle, and your goals. They don't just throw a meal plan at you, they listen to your history, your habits, your mental health struggles with food, and help create a realistic, sustainable plan that works for you. 92% of patients, including me, pay $0 for their dietitian appointments with the help of Nourish. And they offer flexible virtual scheduling so you can meet from your kitchen, your car, wherever. I'll leave a link down below if you want to get matched with a dietitian who can help you figure all of this out. Because honestly, you deserve better than random internet advice, even from me. Seriously, having a professional help you find a starting off point, it takes so much of the pressure off. Buddy, I don't want to scratch your butt right now. Mama's busy. You settled? Look, I know it's scary to think about eating more, especially when you've been conditioned your whole life to believe that less is better. Remember that healing your relationship with food and your quality of life is so much more important than just chasing the lowest possible number on the scale. You deserve energy, you deserve strength, you deserve to feel good in your own body. And all of that rarely starts with 1,200 calories a day. If this hit home for you, if you've ever felt broken because you couldn't lose weight eating basically like a toddler, you're not alone. I've been there. I'm still learning. I'm still unlearning. None of us are ever gonna do it perfectly, and you need to find what works for you. But I would hope that you would also want to do what works for you in a way that's not gonna damage your body in the long run. If you wanna see more videos like this, where I break down myths, share some of my journey, and maybe help you feel a little less alone in yours, please make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, drop a comment down below and say hi. Let me know a little bit about where you're at in your journey. And if you want help figuring out your specific nutritional needs, be sure to check out the TDEE calculator or check out the link I have in the description to learn more about working with a registered dietitian through Nourish. I think that's it for this week. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for continuing to support me on this crazy journey that I am on. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better.